Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our informational webinar today. As is noted on your screen, all attendees are going to be muted throughout our broadcast to ensure that we're able to capture some great audio to be able to share out later. We are going to be answering questions at the end of our webinar today, so if you have a question as we proceed, please go ahead and type that into the questions box that you'll see on the right hand of your screen. And this webinar is going to be available to view within 24 hours after our broadcast on our earlylearningindiana.org webpage. So if you missed something, want to go back and view, want to share it with somebody else, go ahead and check that out and you'll be able to see all of this information. Let's get started. I am Natalie Brake. I am part of the team here at Early Learning Indiana, and I have the privilege of talking with you today about a new opportunity from Early Learning Indiana, boosting early language and literacy in partnership with LENA Grow. During the next hour, we're going to explore why it is so important to focus on building early language and literacy. We're also going to introduce those of you who are unfamiliar with LENA Grow to the program itself. And then we're going to share some key details about how you could participate in this expanded opportunity to bring LENA Grow to Hoosier classrooms. We're going to include considerations for eligibility, participation requirements, the timeline, and how you can complete your interest form. Before we dig into this agenda, though, I want to share a little bit about who we are at Early Learning Indiana and why it is that we do the work that we do. Early Learning Indiana is on a mission to ensure that children throughout Indiana are empowered with essential skills to thrive in kindergarten and beyond. Engaging with children in their earliest years is crucial. The first 5 years lay the foundation for all future learning. Yet there are many young learners in Indiana who are missing out during this vital period of growth. We strive to change this story through a few key tactics. First, we practice what we teach, operating a dozen early learning centers in central Indiana and West Lafayette, where we are creating learning-rich environments for more than 1,000 children every day. We understand firsthand just how impactful educators are in supporting the development of foundational knowledge and skills that support children's future learnings. There are, however, many more than 1,000 children in Indiana, which is why we also share what we know, empowering other organizations across our industry to improve and expand their own educational offerings. And we at Early Learning Indiana serve as a driving voice for system-level change to provide subject matter expertise and to facilitate large-scale initiatives for the benefit of all learning programs across our state. If you are not familiar with Early Learning Indiana and the work we do, I'd invite you to follow us on social media and to explore our webpage to learn more. For now, though, let's return to the main topic of the hour: boosting early language and literacy. I'd like to invite my colleague, Charity Coppola, to join us. Charity is going to tell us a little bit about herself and her role. Then she's going to share with us more about why Early Learning Indiana is ensuring opportunities for programs like yours to boost early language and literacy with the students you serve. Let's welcome Charity.
Thank you, Natalie. As Natalie said, my name is Charity Coppola. I am the LENA program coordinator here at Early Learning Indiana, and my role is very much focused around our Boosting Early Language and Literacy initiative. So as we talk about this opportunity that's becoming available in partnership with LENA Grow, I will be your primary point of contact for participating organizations, really walking you through the process of implementation, helping to troubleshoot, providing technical assistance, all those great things. That will be me. I think as we move to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit kind of about the why, right? Why is boosting early language and literacy so important for us here at Early Learning Indiana? So we know that the early years are a pivotal time for children's language development. Early language skills are critically important for future learning across all domains, and a strong foundation in these oral language skills is associated with positive long-term and long-term social and academic outcomes. Next slide, please. We also know that the quality of a child's early language and communication environment is a really important predictor of later developmental outcomes. Engaging early talk environments maximize children's natural tendencies towards language acquisition. Serve and return interactions are essential to quality language environments and are one of the most important factors that contribute to creating a firm foundation of healthy brain architecture in children. These interactions are also one of the key ingredients to school readiness because they contribute directly to language and literacy development. Research supports that increasing back and forth interactions in early learning environments is shown to have those short-term and long-term benefits for children. And that focus on engaging early talk has been a priority here at Early Learning Indiana and within our own Dell centers. As we go throughout this presentation, you're going to notice lots of really great images of children engaged in play in their early learning environments. Those are actually students within our own Dell centers who are using some of the LENA technology that we'll be talking about today. Next slide, please. In a few moments, we're going to share more information about our new opportunity to boost early language and literacy in partnership with LENA Grow. However, this is not the only way that Early Learning Indiana is ensuring that young children have language-rich environments. So I also encourage you to take a look at our Early Years Initiative work in progress. There are currently 29 organizations across the state that are promoting essential skills for infants and toddlers through early language strategies. You can read their stories on our Early Language and Literacy section on our Early Years Initiative page. Hopefully their stories give you ideas and inspire next steps that you could take in your program and community. And with that, we're going to dive into talking about LENA Grow and the opportunity available at hand. We'll start just by introducing LENA. So what is LENA? LENA stands for Language Environment Analysis, and it's a national nonprofit founded in 2004 with the mission of transforming children's futures through early talk technology, that's a tongue twister, and data-driven programs. Since then, LENA has become the industry standard for measuring early talk, used by communities all over the world and programs for families and teachers. 500 plus organizations are currently using LENA in over 40 countries. One of LENA's programs is called LENA Grow. That's going to be our focus for today and for this initiative. LENA Grow is an innovative research-based professional development program for early childhood educators. And a key component of the LENA Grow program is a small wearable device, often referred to as a talk pedometer, combined with cloud-based software used to deliver detailed feedback that helps adults make proven, sustainable increases in interactive talk with children. LENA Grow gives educators the tools that they need to improve language environments equitably and to make sure that we're truly connecting with every child in their care. The program is also designed to help increase interactions with each child in the classroom without disrupting existing classroom routines. Throughout the presentation, you'll hear us speak about the term conversational turns. So what is a conversational turn? Simple back and forth interactions between a child and adult are conversational turns. Essentially, they're LENA's proxy for those serve and return interactions. LENA technology is unique in that it can automatically count the conversational turns that a child experiences across an entire day. There are three main components to the LENA Grow program and feedback cycle. This slide provides a little bit of an overview. The first piece is a LENA day. A LENA day is one day during the week within a 5-week sequence where children wear the LENA device so that teachers' interactive talk can be captured and measured. Data from this day is turned into a LENA report that is shared during the coaching sessions, enabling teachers to reflect on their practice and classroom equity. The second piece is coaching and feedback. So during coaching sessions, teachers review the objective data and room reports from their own LENA day. Coaches use a strengths-based approach to ask questions and learn more about teachers' experiences. And then there's practice. So these are the days between the coaching session and the next LENA day. And on these days, teachers practice what they've learned and work towards achieving their goals in order to show measurable improvement on their next LENA day. This is just a little bit of a visual for how LENA technology works. So the first piece is the LENA device. The children wear this little device inside a vest all day during their LENA day. Next, the LENA devices are connected to the LENA hub on a computer in order to process the LENA data. And then the LENA software counts words and conversational turns and creates feedback reports about the day that are used to support the coaching process. I know that in today's world, anytime we hear the words recording and devices associated with children, it can bring along some feelings of apprehension, and rightfully so. So I do want to take a minute to discuss LENA's privacy features. A few things to note is that the device cannot play back audio. It is designed only for processing. LENA software does not recognize words or their meanings. It only counts them. And the audio is automatically and permanently deleted after processing, so no one can ever listen to it. And now I would like to introduce two members of the LENA team. So we know as we go through this initiative, there will be more in-depth questions specific to LENA. LENA does have an amazing team who is here to support with this initiative. So at this time, I would like to invite Charlotte and Nicole to come on camera to introduce yourselves and provide a little bit of detail about your roles.
Thank you, Charity. I'm Charlotte Johnson. I'm the statewide manager here at LENA. I live here in Indiana, and I'm very excited to help bring LENA to a large number of Hoosier children and educators. LENA is really the innovative solution, as Charity's been explaining, to so many problems that our ECE providers are facing. So thank you for joining us.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Nashapori, and I am a Partner Success Manager with LENA. And what that means is I help all of our partners implement. And so I've been working with partners implementing in the state of Indiana for quite some time now, and I am Charity's go-to person. And so I'm there along the way, diving into the data, getting things started even before we get to that point, but then having those really great conversations around what's going on in the classrooms. And so I look forward to working with many of you.
Thank you, Charlotte and Nicole. And now I'm going to pass this back to Natalie, and she's going to share some more information about how you can participate in this specific initiative.
All right, thank you, Charity, and thank you to our LENA team. If you haven't already, there is a great video that's on the Boosting Early Language and Literacy webpage that gives an introductory to the LENA Grow program. There's also a link to LENA's webpage if you'd like to learn more about the program itself, including all of the research that's been done about LENA's various programs and the resources that they provide for educators and families. I highly, highly encourage you to visit their page and explore all that LENA has to offer. Now that we've aligned around the importance of developing strong language and literacy skills at a young age and introduced you briefly to the LENA Grow program, let's talk through the nuts and bolts of participating in this specific opportunity to bring LENA Grow to your classrooms. First up is eligibility. To be eligible to participate, organizations must meet the following criteria. They must be a nonprofit that serves a charitable purpose. They must be committed to serving families that qualify for child care subsidies, and they must serve children in more than one classroom. Interested programs should also be prepared to complete training and support implementation of LENA Grow. Remember, if you have questions about the training and implementation of LENA Grow, the LENA team is happy to talk through those questions with you. And to head it off before it's asked, yes, organizations must meet all of the criteria listed here to participate. If you are interested, you should then complete our interest form so that we know that you want to be part of this expansion of LENA Grow across Indiana. What is on that interest form, you may be asking? Guess what? I'm going to tell you. Completing the interest form is going to allow the Early Learning Indiana team some context to better understand your program and to assess how LENA Grow could be implemented as we do expand this opportunity to other programs across the state. In addition to basic program demographics, such as your license or registration number, your organization name, etc., the form also asks you to share the number of classrooms and children that you serve and how your program serves at-risk populations. It's going to ask the number of teachers you have and their experience levels and tenure within your program. It's going to ask you to share information about your current classroom learning practices and how you approach coaching classroom team members to success. It's also going to ask about the current technology available within your program that could support implementation of LENA Grow, and identify if there are possible technology needs that would have to be met in order for you to successfully implement. Again, this information is going to give our team here at Early Learning Indiana crucial insight into the day-to-day of your program. It's okay if the answer to some of these questions is no. For example, if you don't currently conduct any child level assessments, that's exactly what you should tell us. We're not looking for perfect programs. We're looking for programs that want to boost early language and literacy skills, those who want to increase their knowledge about and their practice of using data to guide teachers' classroom interactions with the students they serve. We'll share more about the timeline here in a moment, but it is important to note now, as I talk about this interest form, that those who submit their interest forms on our application platform, Submittable, by 5 p.m. on February 21st will be considered for the spring cohort of our LENA Grow implementation. That interest form, as I said, located on Submittable, and yes, we're going to send you the link, can be started, saved, and submitted at a later time. Get your interest form started early and get it submitted early if you want to be considered for the spring 2025 cohort. Should your program be selected to participate, you'll be implementing a minimum of one 5-week LENA Grow sequence in 2 or more classrooms. Programs should be prepared to designate a coach within your program to support LENA site implementation. And all programs who participate will be participating in data collection using educator surveys both before and after the implementation of the LENA Grow sequence. Your interest form is going to ask if you have a coach already identified, or if you don't, if you have any concerns about identifying a coach from within your program. All programs need to be ready to really implement LENA Grow on site. The requirements within this should be considered as you fill out in the interest form, how many and which classrooms you'd like to implement LENA Grow in. We've mentioned a few key dates, but now let's consider all of the key ones you might want to keep in mind. January 2025, today, the interest form is opening for programs to complete. February 21st is the deadline for you to submit that interest form in order to be considered for cohort 1, the cohort that is starting this spring 2025. Please make sure that you submit that interest form by 5 p.m. if you would like to be considered for the cohort that begins soon. March and April 2025, there will be preparations that will be done in order for programs to begin their implementation of LENA Grow at their specific site. Remember, get your interest form started early and submitted early if you want to be considered for this cohort. When we talk about that site prep that is going on, that will include the training. That's also going to ensure that you have the devices, that everything is set up correctly, and that you're ready to do LENA Day on your day 1. As you may infer from the fact that we have designated on here a cohort 1, there will in fact be coming a cohort 2. Early Learning Indiana's team is still considering the best timeline for these future cohorts. However, programs who submit their interest form for this first cohort but are not selected may be selected for a future cohort. And those who submit their interest forms after February 21st may also be selected for a future cohort. I know that we went through a lot of information over the last few minutes, so I want to be sure that we're able to respond to some questions that individuals may have about participation within this expansion of LENA Grow. I'm going to go ahead and encourage, if you have those questions, for you to throw them into the questions box so that we can take a look at them. I'm also going to remind you of the resources that are available to you. So on Early Learning Indiana's webpage, if you take a look at the Boosting Early Language and Literacy page, you're going to find all common FAQs about this implementation. You're going to find a direct link to the interest form coming soon. It'll be added, as well as a copy of this webinar if you need to refer to it for anything as you look and consider what you might be looking to do. You're also going to find that really great video that introduces LENA Grow as a program, and that direct link to LENA's page that has all of their resources, all of their references, and all of their research. As we have a few questions coming in, I'm going to go ahead and invite Charity back on so that she is able to also help me and to ensure that we're able to answer a couple of these questions, because we're going to tag team them. Charity, I'm going to have some coming your way. I just know it. All right, a couple of questions that we have coming in already. Some who are wanting to know whether current programs who are working with Early Learning Indiana are able to participate in this. If you are a current grantee of Early Learning Indiana who is implementing perhaps an Early Years Initiative grant or working with us on one of our other programs, maybe Building Impact, yes, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria for this specific initiative, you are also able to participate in expanding LENA Grow. Follow-up question with that. If you are an organization that has more than one location, so you operate multiple sites, you are a multi-site provider serving children at more than one address, can you apply for multiple sites? Charity, I'm going to take this one too, because I know the answer to that one is an easy yes. You may apply for more than one location. If you are an organization who operates more than one site, this is actually a really great opportunity to help embed the coaching process, but then also really focusing on those early in language and literacy skills across all of the sites within your program. It is something that is really useful to have multiple sites doing at the same time too, so that they can support each other in those peer learning opportunities between the teachers who are implementing in their classrooms and the school leaders who are helping support implementation at these multiple sites. There was a follow-up question, it looks like, based off of the eligibility on whether Head Start programs are able to qualify to participate here. Charity, what would you say about Head Start programs or early Head Start programs participating in this?
I would say that both early Head Start and Head Start programs, provided they meet all of the other eligibility requirements, would be eligible to participate.
Excellent. We actually operate early Head Start classrooms ourselves, and we are using LENA Grow as a way to approach ensuring that we are meeting children's needs and meeting the needs of our teachers as they look to ensure language-rich environments. So it's a really great opportunity for those programs. Charity, another question for you. If we are selected and our program is going to be implementing LENA Grow, but then we start to struggle with the implementation, will there be any supports offered throughout that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And there will be support available on both the Eli side of things and also from the LENA team. So what the support looks like will depend on the unique challenge that you're facing. Perhaps if it's technology related, like we're just struggling with understanding how to use the technology, or the technology is not working in the way it's supposed to be, we would absolutely loop in LENA and their tech support. If it's questions around implementation, that's really my role, to sit with you and help you plan and help you troubleshoot. So all that to say, it will be individualized support, but yes, the support is available.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think we've experienced between our team and LENA's team every problem you could possibly ever have. And knowing that it is something that is difficult, but also so crucially important, we want to make sure that you're able to support through that. All right, let me see. I know we've got a couple more questions coming in. A great question here about the technology that is needed to support LENA Grow. When you look at the interest form and you get to the question about technology needed to support, there's going to be a little link that you can click on right there that is going to take you to a one-page graphic that explains the technology needed to support LENA Grow. The great thing is that the majority of the technology, when we talk about those talk pedometers that are used, those actually come right to you and you're able to get those shipped. But it does require a laptop, some connections, things like that, certain processing. So that sheet details out exactly what is needed and gives you the opportunity to consider, do you have that currently at your program, or what the gaps in access may be, so that you can let us know. So if you're concerned at all about the technology on site, please take a look at that one pager that LENA has provided that really gives insight into exactly what is needed if you want to talk about very specifics for the technology. Looks like there's a couple of questions that have come in that are really specific to the training for coaches or the actual implementation of the program. I'm going to encourage again that if you have questions about implementing the program itself, I really struggle with that word today, implementing the program itself, that you take a look at the LENA webpage where it talks through some of the specifics about the program. Also, when you fill out that interest form, we like to end our interest forms a little bit with a question that's kind of like, what else are you concerned about in this implementation? I would definitely make sure that you're putting your questions in there, because that's an opportunity for the LENA team and the Early Learning Indiana team to talk together to ensure that if you're selected, that you have everything that you need to be successful. Charity, we have a couple of questions coming through about those coaches I just mentioned. What makes a good coach for this program? Could it be a teacher or an administrator? And does coaching have to be their full-time role? Does a site have to have a full-time coach in order to implement?
Great question. So no, a site does not need to have a full-time coach to be able to implement LENA Grow. The coach could be a teacher, it could be an administrator. Ideally, it's someone who is passionate about supporting educators in their development when it relates to new practice. Someone who has experience in the field and experience in the classroom and is ready and willing to step up and kind of take that leadership role, and do the training, commit to the process. Those are really, I mean, there's not a lot of hard and fast requirements. LENA provides a really great coach's guide that kind of helps support. So even if we're thinking about like a newer coach, right? Maybe they have a year or two of experience and they're looking for an opportunity to grow. This would be a great opportunity for them to grow. It can really be anyone within your program or your site who's willing to step up and take that role.
I am incredibly interested to see some of the coaches that emerge from this opportunity. I've been able to see throughout daily learning just the growth in their own professional development and in their own practice, both by those individuals who are being coached, but also by those individuals who are doing the coaching. As you think about, this really is an amazing opportunity for them to be able to step into that space and use the resources provided through LENA and through Early Learning Indiana to grow that skill. I think we'll see many positive outcomes coming from that, not only while they're implementing LENA, but also as they go and progress in their career within early childhood. We have a couple more questions related to the actual application and implementation process. One question that popped in here about whether or not a local group could apply on behalf of several programs. We are going to need each of those programs to apply on their own behalf. We do need individual organizations who are operating those early childhood classrooms to meet the criteria. And then we're also looking really to get a lot of insight into their practice within that program. So if you are in a community and you know that there's several programs who could benefit and are interested in doing this type of work, I would highly encourage you to help them throughout the process. And I'm thinking here of maybe some of our early learning coalitions or some of our other groups that bring together networks or gatherings of early childhood providers. Absolutely. If you want to throw a party that is getting everybody signed up and completing their interest forms for bringing LENA Grow to their classrooms, give them that support, but we are going to need them to individually complete the information about their program itself. Also, a couple of questions about if you're not sure if you're ready to start in the initial cohort that's going to be starting here in the spring, should you go ahead and fill out the form? I'm going to go ahead and give that an enthusiastic yes, Charity, because I think that's something that you can indicate in there when you look at what else do we need to know about it, saying, I think I'm ready to start. You could have a conversation with Charity, and I promise you, if you are ready, she's going to be 100% behind you and supporting you. And if you're not, it's going to be okay for her to say, this might be a better fit for your program in the future. It's better for you to get started and to have this in consideration than for this opportunity to pass you by and you be wishing you had completed the interest form and were able to bring LENA to your program through this. Let me go through and see if we've got some additional questions we could answer here. So great question here. Oh, I love this. Okay. If we are currently using LENA Grow in some of our classrooms, but not all of them, could we use this opportunity to expand for classrooms, additional classrooms within our program? That is an absolute yes. I know that there are individual programs across the state who are either partnered with Early Learning Indiana or individually on their own have brought LENA Grow into their program. Completely understand why you did that. That's why we brought LENA Grow into our program. So if you have already started using LENA Grow, for instance, using it in your infant toddler classrooms through the Early Years Initiative, you could potentially use this opportunity to expand use of LENA Grow to your preschool or pre-K classrooms. So absolutely, if you have already started and you would like to extend to additional classrooms within your programs, you should fill out the interest form and indicate that in the interest form. There's a couple of specific questions about using some of the LENA tech and the LENA technology. Encourage you to check out LENA Grow's resources for that. But Charity, one question that I do think we could answer, given our experience in implementation, is how easy is it to actually use the vest with the children? Can it be accommodated for a child with special needs? Is it something that is easy, quick to put on a child? What does that look like in reality and in the photo they're looking at right now?
Yeah, so it is easy and quick, um, that was one of my first questions too when I came into this role was, do the children fight the vest? And from what I've seen in the classrooms with the children, the answer is no. To them, it's just another piece of clothing. It becomes part of their routine. On LENA Days, one of our early Head Start classrooms has even started to incorporate families into that routine. So the families actually, when they drop the children off, put the vests on with the little devices in them. It just becomes part of their routine. LENA provides some social stories and things to help introduce the vest to children. Accommodations can be made as necessary, but overall, the children don't even notice. They put them on and they go and they play. Thinking back about some of the images we included in this presentation, right? None of the children were like looking at their vests or seemed bothered. They were just kind of doing what they do, which is ideal.
Yes, I love the doing what they do. That's exactly what we want to capture is what they are doing every single day and how they're doing that. Ooh, a couple more questions have popped in. You guys are really participatory today. I love that. Somebody asked about how many programs will be selected to be within the spring cohort. That is a really great question. So we are looking for around 80 classrooms total, which means that we might have 40 programs. We might have less than that we're looking to have participate. Remember, there is a participation requirement that you have multiple classrooms who do participate. That could be just 2 classrooms within your program. It could also be 4 classrooms within a program. So we don't have a specific number of programs that we know will be starting. We're going to be looking to really create a cohort that fits about that size with those 80 classrooms, but also really looking for a cohort that's ready to start here in spring 2025. So we're looking for those programs that are committed to implementing LENA Grow, that are excited about implementing LENA Grow, and that are ready to dig into the training and get the implementation going with us. If you think that is your program, I would definitely, again, encourage that you start that interest form early here and that you get it submitted early so that we can go ahead, if you are a right fit for this program at this time, get you started within it. Oh, another couple of good questions that have come in. And I actually, Charity, do not think I fully said this out loud. So I'm going to say it out loud here. There is a specific question about the cost of the program. So Early Learning Indiana is covering the cost of this program to bring it to your site. We are very excited with support by Lilly Endowment Inc. that we are able to offer this opportunity for additional programs across the state to bring LENA Grow into your classrooms. We've seen the benefit of it in our classrooms and through our partners. So the cost of implementing the program will be completely covered through that generosity there. We've got a couple of questions coming in specifically about looking at the data and understanding the data. And I definitely am going to encourage for those types of questions that you take a look at some of LENA's resources, but also know that all of that is going to be covered through the training with the coaches. So prior to the coaches actually working with the individuals, correct me if I'm wrong, Charity, but they get to all the information about what they're going to be looking at, how they're going to be looking at it, ensuring that they truly understand it and they can help the teachers understand it. Is that how it works?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. So the coaches have a good amount of training before they start the process, and then they also have support throughout the process from both myself and from the LENA team, kind of like ongoing support in reading the data, interpreting the data, using it to support the people that they're coaching.
Excellent. Ooh, another question that I'm really glad is coming up in here is, what if we have children who are multi-language learners or teachers who speak multiple languages? Can they still be part of this expansion? For instance, if the classroom primarily operates in Spanish? Charity, what would you say to that?
I would say yes.
Excellent. We would actually note it is completely language specific neutral. So it can be, LENA can be implemented with children who speak any languages and with teachers who speak any languages. So when you consider the coaching that needs to go on within your classroom, you might consider how typical coaching would go on. And that's something you can note in your interest form. If you do provide coaching in Spanish for team members who primarily speak Spanish, could be something that you note within your interest form so that we understand that that's how you're going to be rolling it out. But really, it's about your program ensuring that you're able to implement LENA in a way that makes sense for you. I'm going to give it another minute or so to see if there's additional questions that pop in, but I will also note if you have a question that wasn't answered that is really specific and is about LENA Grow, that you can find that answer by going to LENA's page and looking at some of the information about the implementation and the training and such in there. If you have a very specific question that was asked that is more about this opportunity itself, look for that to be answered either in our FAQs, or you can always reach out to us to email and ask for that question. If you'd like to, you can email us at educatorsolutions@earlylearningindiana.org. That email is also on the webpage and where can I ask questions in the FAQs. If you have a question that is unanswered, or if you think of a question later as you're thinking about whether your program could participate and what that might look like, then you can go ahead and reach out to us to ask that. All right. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our questions. Please, please, please take a look at all the information that is going to be coming out to you later about this opportunity. As we said at the beginning, a recording of this webinar, as well as link to the interest form, is going to be out on our webpage within 24 hours. We're also going to send that directly to you via email so that you're able to take a look at it. Make sure that you get all your questions answered. If you have concerns, reach out to us, reach out to the team at LENA. We are excited and ready to begin having conversations with your programs about bringing LENA Grow into your classrooms. And as we wrap up our time together today, I just want to thank you all for the work that you are doing either with or on behalf of our young Hoosiers. We know that early language and literacy development is the foundation to all future learning and all developmental domains. You are helping to create a strong foundation for the children that you serve. And I hope that participating in this opportunity with Early Learning Indiana and LENA can simply boost those efforts. Again, thank you. And in case you missed it, go ahead and get your interest form started as soon as possible. Have a great day and keep doing all you're doing for our Hoosier children.